Hello guys and welcome back to the Otaku. Thank you again for all being here with me and Gemma. Are you going to say hello this time?
Hello this time.
She spoke. First of all, before we get into it guys, I just want to say a big massive thank you for all the support we've got. If you're looking to find out where you can find this podcast, you can watch us on YouTube. Every video goes up on a Sunday. If you have an Apple device, you'll find us on iTunes. We can't get Google Play in this country just yet, but never mind, because if you have Android, find us on Stitcher. And also anyone with an Amazon account, if you have Alexa, you could always do this. Alexa, ask AnyPod to play the anime podcast by the Otaku.
Now playing the Otaku's podcast. On this episode, podcast number 2, past, present and future of anime.
And that's how you find us on Alexa. At the end of this I will put outtakes in of how many takes it took me to do that. Because for some reason I kept saying playlist instead of podcast. I don't know why.
You had a stroke.
That was funny though.
It was just difficult to watch.
But anyway, today's podcast, I want to talk about censorship.
Stop watching yourself on there. Talk to the people.
Okay.
You look a fucker.
Okay, for all the people listening to this, for what you're saying, I've got the video up because it's recorded for YouTube as well.
The video's to his right.
The video's to my right, but the camera's up in front of me, so
and he's just watching himself like the narcissist that he is.
I'm watching the video instead of the camera. I'm sorry. I apologise for all our YouTube fans out there.
Listen, I know your autism makes it hard for you to make eye contact, but this should be an exception. It's a camera.
The reason why I want to talk about censorship is age rating within anime. So I don't know if I agree with the age ratings on some of the anime stuff.
No.
Because, for instance, Full Metal Alchemist is a 14. Fair enough, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, there's not much in that particularly. Well, so far. But
Bleach is a 14, which fair enough. Naruto's PG, again, fair enough.
Friggin' you.
Cowboy Bebop's an 18.
We haven't actually watched that though, have we?
I watched parts of it growing up. Well, not so much growing up, but when I spoke about it in the last video, when we got the UK anime channel, I used to watch it on that. I was never a big fan. People are going to hate me for saying that. I was never a big fan. It
wasn't the story though, was it? It was the art style.
It wasn't so much. It was a space cowboy thing. I just didn't get the gimmick.
No, it's something that doesn't work for me either.
So, I didn't get the gimmick, and with the art style as well, I was just like... It was one of the ones where it's got a storyline, and if you just pick it up on a random episode, you're like, I don't get it.
It's not like Dragon Ball and Pokemon then, where you can
just pick up a random episode.
Well, I never watched Dragon Ball. I've watched Dragon Ball Super, and it made perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so... Yeah. So, but from what I did see... I kind of agree with it being an 18. Neon Genesis, again, I kind of agree with a 14. Elfen Lied is definitely an 18.
Very gory.
Is definitely an 18, is Elfen Lied. But...
Well, she doesn't have much clothing on a lot of the time either, really, does she?
Oh yeah, she's mostly naked and she's mostly murdering people.
Naked and afraid, which is not murdering people. But it's very gory, I understand that one.
So that's definitely an 18. But Attack on Titan, granted, it's got a solid story arc.
It's got a solid storyline. Alexa, play playlist.
Shut up. But it's an 18 for me.
Yeah,
it's so gory. Watching bodies getting bitten in half, chewed up, and blood splurted out, that is an 18.
All I saw was the first episode of Attack on Titan because I never was that bothered about it. Rob was watching it. He wanted me to try it, so I did. The first episode, there was just something in it that made me feel a bit ill and a bit uncomfortable, and I just didn't enjoy it. And
it's probably the bodies getting
that's
eaten
what
and
I mean.
chewed up.
It's the way the Titans look as well. Like there's something
just like the skinless things with them. Just
yeah, like I'm not
the colossal way. It's just muscle.
I'm not squeamish. I don't get easily scared. I mean, we watch horror films. Watch American Horror Story, for God's sake.
Well, the crap you watch on YouTube.
Oh, Crime Watch Daily, look it up.
I was thinking more Dr. Pimple Popper. And
There's something really satisfying about
there's
that.
something
okay?
wrong with you, okay?
But back to Attack on Titan, not my mental issues. I just couldn't. There's something in my brain just couldn't cope with it. I don't know what it was. It just made me feel uncomfortable, and it was that gory. If Elfin Lied's an 18, why isn't Attack on Titan?
Exactly. So.
Oh God! Oh,
What?
giant friggin' pigeon. Just like, I thought it was going to come up through the gap, and it was, and then it buggered it, and nearly went into the glass instead, and it was like massive. This like obese pigeon just filled the whole window.
Okay, for context on that, guys, I don't know if I'm going to edit this in or not.
Please leave the obese pigeon in. Scared the crap, it looked like the devil.
We're next to an open window, and Gemma's just herself.
It looked like a massive black bird of death. And it was just a fat pigeon that realised it couldn't fit through the gap. I can relate.
Anyway, back to the point. The other one that I've made a note of as well. Death Note is a 14.
No.
18?
Yes.
Because don't get me wrong.
It's the concept as well, I think. Because it's
exactly.
a really dark concept.
It's a guy with a notebook. Sure, put it down on paper. It's a 12. But you throw in the fact that it's a guy with a notebook, and when he just randomly writes someone's down, he kills people, and then he's got an obsession with killing people.
And he can pick how they die as well.
Yeah, and then there's also like the death scene at the end.
Spoiler alert.
Anyway, as I was saying, the death scene at the end where Light is being shot and all that. There's blood everywhere.
He gets shot multiple times, doesn't he?
Bleeding all over the place. So, in general, with the concept of it and the fact that there's still blood in it as well, and the shootings and all that,
I don't think you're looking at it deep enough. For me, at age 14, well, my sister's 13 this year. She's very old for her age.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would let her watch Death Note because I think she could understand it for what it is.
Yeah.
The point I'm making is a lot of kids, it takes them much longer to know the difference between good and evil and right and wrong. It takes them a long time to learn that we can't play God and we don't decide what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah.
Light is doing that. He's making that decision. As kids, we're supposed to learn that the police force do that, and we leave it to them. We shouldn't be vigilantes taking it into our own hands. And I think the whole concept behind it is if they look at it too black and white and don't understand what it is Light's doing,
mm-hmm.
it could give a lot of kids the wrong impression.
Yeah, which is going to get me onto the main point of this podcast. But I've put down here that my main question is, does anime make you violent?
No, the same as video games don't make you violent.
This is the point, because the term otaku, as far as I'm aware anyway, guys, the term otaku, which is where we took the name from this channel, comes from a serial killer.
Serial killer, not just serial cases.
A serial killer case in Japan, where they're basically... The media, the same way they do in this country for video games or whatever else, or in America, the media had branded someone as a serial killer
because he watched anime.
Because he was an otaku, which what they meant by that is because he's a fan of anime. A fanime. So, I mean, the term otaku, I'd say, it just generally means a fan of or an expert. These days, it doesn't just come down to that.
We're not experts.
Or it can mean geek or nerd, which we are. We are definitely very geeky, very nerdy.
Well, my name is Gemma, and I'm a nerd.
So, I mean, it comes down to whatever you want the word otaku to mean.
It's a very loose translation.
Yeah, the word can mean whatever you want it to mean. I had the same argument with someone on Facebook recently.
There's multiple interpretations. No one's ever
exactly.
the same.
There's multiple things, but the thing is, like I said, that the Japanese media branded this guy a serial killer because he watches anime, he's an otaku,
Well, maybe that was true.
So
maybe for him that was true, because it's what I'm saying about Death Note.
but
It does have an influence, but it doesn't mean because he did it, everyone will do it.
it's like the old case of all thumbs are fingers, but not all fingers are thumbs. It's the same thing of maybe all serial killers out there, well, not just out there, but
Are anime fans, but not all anime fans are serial killers.
Exactly. So maybe he's one guy who had a.
Some of us
not to put
enjoy Violet Evergarden because it's beautiful. Okay? Some of us can appreciate the, like, Fairy Tale is just so whimsically enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we're just watching Attack on Titan all the time.
No, and there's so many different options out there, but I mean, the point of it really is.
I would love to Kamehameha someone, though, I must admit.
Oh, that'd be Spirit Bomb. Just full Spirit Bomb.
They'll be like, oh, this nerd's just being nerdy, and then it hits them and they realise it was real.
But, yeah, I mean, video games take such a hit, and same. I'm going to say, it's like GTA, for instance.
The problem with GTA, can I just say before we get into this, is it's rated 18, and I think maybe 70% of the players are not 18.
Roughly about 12.
Yes. A lot of the problem isn't video games. The problem is parents not looking at what they're buying and not educating themselves before they do it. My mum would not let me have anything until I was that age. Movies, games, the whole lot. My dad would let me watch bits of video games, but only little bits, so I didn't see the graphic bits, and even then it was mainly Tomb Raider, which, let's be honest, just taught me to be a strong, powerful woman, if anything.
And to be wary of dinosaurs and giant tigers.
Yeah, and to never go in tombs because there's traps everywhere, girl, and you do not respawn. But I don't think video games make you violent. I don't think anime makes you violent. I think watching it at the wrong age, when you're not mentally equipped enough to deal with it, is what causes mental problems.
Yeah.
It's just the same as if you're a kid and you see some horrible happen. It's gonna mess you up.
But
that's why they put them on, to protect you.
But in the same way, this is also what I'm saying here, is if you're if you're 12 and your parents have let you play that, fair enough, because it's on them. But when you're watching Attack on Titan at 14, that...
I don't think that's as bad as a kid playing GTA at 14, though.
No, but in the same way, it's still...
It's not as immersive.
No, I do get that.
The Attack on Titan game, however...
But it's very gory for someone like that to... It could easily scare someone, I think, at that age.
I don't think... It's like I would let Amy watch Death Note, but I wouldn't let her watch Attack on Titan.
And yet they're both the same age rating.
And they're the same rating.
Yeah.
I think Death Note, fair enough, because some kids are mentally equipped enough. Amy definitely is. She's very intelligent. She understands, right? Attack on Titan, she just wouldn't enjoy it because it's just too graphic. It would scare her. She just wouldn't like it. And I wouldn't want her to watch it because it made me feel uncomfortable. I don't know why. I can't explain it either. There was just something about it that just made me feel uncomfortable.
I think there's something about a body being chewed up and eaten.
By something that you can see all its... I don't know, it's just too...
Yeah, there's all muscle and...
It's too, like...
Skinless.
Skin on skin. I don't know how to explain it. There's just something...
Cannibalism, essentially.
It's like the whole thing in Silence of the Lambs where the guy wears that suit that is made out of women.
Yeah.
That as well gives me the same feeling.
So it's basically the cannibalism side of it that makes it hard.
Yeah, and the fact that that's someone's body and that they're chewing them up and they look kind of human but kind of not, and it's just, I don't know what it is. It's something that jars with me. Which is stupid because some of the crap I watch doesn't bother me at all. And that does. That's my limit.
Yeah, so I don't know whether I'd change the age rating of stuff.
Oh, I would. Attack on Titan, definitely.
So
I'd at least have it,
16?
If that was even an age rating, I would
know.
have it at 16 because there's a lot of maturing that happens between 13 and 16.
Yeah.
A lot. Because when I think of a 13-year-old, I think of a little kid like my sister. When I think of a 60-year-old, I think of more of a teenager who's doing more and can look after themselves a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it, really?
It's all down to parents, basically. If you think your child will watch it, enjoy it, understand it, no repercussions, go for it. But you need to know what you're letting them watch.
It's the same thing. Like, you'd say you'd let Amy, who's 12, 13, watch Death Note, that's a 14. But I know it's a slightly different thing, but Amanda, who I will say for the people obviously who don't know us, has Down syndrome, at the age of 14 or even more, would you let her watch Death Note?
When she was 14?
Yeah.
No.
Because they don't have the mental capabilities.
Well, now she's in her late 40s, and she's only just hit teenager. But she's only just at that point, so...
Okay, even at this current...
Even at her current age, I wouldn't let her watch it.
So you're saying even though she's still got the mental... She's basically at the age of 14 mentally, so let's say.
Roughly, yeah.
But you still wouldn't let her watch it. No. So even if you're saying she was 14 and didn't have Downs, for instance, she still doesn't have the mental capacity for it.
Well, I know in the past she's watched things on telly and then she's had nightmares and been up for nights.
Yeah, so...
You know, stuff that she's old enough for. You know, she's in her late 40s. She's an adult. So I think that's why, though, with video games and films and anime, that's why it's not like alcohol, where if you know someone's buying it for someone who's underage, you can't sell it to them. With this, if a kid walks in with their mum and tries to buy it, and I say, no, you need a parent to buy it, and their parent comes over and pays for it, the kid can have it.
Yeah.
It's the age ratings, I think, are more of a guide, and to be honest, it's going to be a parent's initiative to decide if their kid can watch that or not.
I know we're not kings of media, we don't have influence over the entire world.
It's just opinion, isn't it?
Yeah, well, what I was about to say is we don't have influence over the entire world, but if we did, maybe everything below the age, or everything from the age of 18 up, fair enough, you're able to watch it from the age of 18 up, you're classed as an adult. But anything
12 and 15 is iffy, though.
Well, but anything below 18 should have an age rating on it, but also be PG, as in it should be guided. So anything below 18, you should go, sure, it's a 14, sure you're old enough to buy it, but then...
But should you be watching it?
But then maybe you need someone like a parent to go, you know, this isn't for you.
Well, that's why my mum, because Amy wants to watch a lot of the things on Netflix I've already watched.
Yeah.
So if it's like a 15, for example, which occasionally my mum will let Amy watch, because she'll watch it first. So it all depends on what's in it, and she'll say to me, do you think this is appropriate for Amy? And usually what I say is yes. I mean, there's the odd swear word, but Amy's smart enough to know she doesn't repeat that, and she never has.
Yeah.
So it's going to be different for every kid, different for every teenager, different depending on how far along you are in maturity and mental capacity. Like with my Auntie Vanda, she has Down syndrome, and she wouldn't understand that that's not real. That's the problem.
No,
and it scares her.
I think that should now become a worldwide media thing for anime, video games, anything. If you're 18, you can buy it.
Because you're legally an adult, so no one can really stop you at that point.
If you're below 18 and going in to buy a 14, as of right now, you can go buy a 14 if you're 14.
If you're lucky.
But
some people might challenge it, but...
Well, no. If you're 14, you can buy a 14.
Yeah, if a kid comes in who's 14 but they look about 8, you're not going to be like,
Yeah, you're going to ask for
ID.
ID.
You got some ID.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is once you've ID'd them, they can buy it.
Well, yeah.
Whereas now I'm saying if you're 12 going in to buy a 12, or 14 going in to buy a 14, whatever, if you slap a PG thing on it as well, you can buy it if you're 14, but only if there was a parent to say...
Present to say they approve of it.
This is for my kid, this is
I've said
suitable.
They can have it.
This is suitable for them. I'd say that'd be fair. To anything below 18 should have some sort of PG warning with it of, you've said Amy is the right mental capacity for
Amy's
it.
very mature for her age, whereas another 13-year-old girl
Yeah.
might be very immature
So
for her age.
So she's got the mental capacity. So your mum would go with her and go, yeah, she's fine to have this. But someone else who maybe would go and buy something, maybe not calling Death Note, but calling something else that's got, say, gun violence in it, for their parents to go, actually, my kid's probably going to shoot someone with that.
Well, how many kids are playing COD? How many kids are playing GTA? How many kids are playing Assassin's Creed? It's the same thing. And then, I mean, I've heard it from America before, that one of the I don't know if this is 100%, don't quote me, but that one of the school shooters was an avid video game player.
Mm-hmm.
So they blamed that for him shooting the school. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't old enough to be playing the game that he was playing either.
Yeah, and this is one other point I was just going to make as well. This is probably going to be one of my final points as well. But
that's him saying, Gemma, we're wrapping it up. Shut up.
Well, no, because we've just spoke about the main thing. There's nothing much more to say on it because we're in agreement. But I will just say two of the top countries for violence we all know would be the UK and America. But
is that official?
Pretty.
Or is that opinion? Have you looked at figures?
Yes, I have.
Right, okay.
And we're not in like the top 5 or 10. Most of I think it's like the African side of it. Well,
right.
Or further European sort of stuff, like what European other side of Asia, that sort of.
The continent of Africa.
Yeah. So it's kind of that sort of side of it. I think they've got a few more countries above us, but either way, we've got a pretty high rate of crime in both countries. Whereas Japan is in the top 5 lowest crime ratings. Obviously, Japan is the biggest country on the planet for anime. And
that's the origin.
US and UK, they're not even listed in the top 5 countries that watch anime. Top 25 countries that watch anime. Which, to be fair, that surprises me that America's not in the top 25.
There's no correlation, really, is there?
But it doesn't cross over between people watching anime to serial killers, which is where the otaku term came from. And I'd probably say the same comes for video games. It takes such a big hit for something it hasn't done.
People just want someone to blame so they don't have to look at themselves.
Yeah.
Is the problem.
But if we also do what we said and put a PG rating on anything below 18 where it's got to be bought with the presence of a parent to verify that they're the mental age to it.
It's acceptable for your child to play this, then they take responsibility for it.
Yeah, then I'd say that would solve a lot of the problems and people can stop going, oh, well, he plays COD or he plays GTA, that's because he's a serial killer that has played these games and it's the game's fault.
Some of us just play games because we enjoy them and often it's therapeutic. Like,
I mean,
wouldn't you rather go on a game and shoot some zombies than, like, get in a fight?
Yeah, I mean, another one that's bad for it was Manhunt. Manhunt has been banned across so many places, so many times. I think it's been banned in this country 3 times, something stupid like that. And it's banned because it's a game, literally, about manhunting. You can suffocate people with a carrier bag with it.
I've never seen anything of it.
It got banned so much, because there's a point where, like, you just got a carrier bag, you suffocate someone, they die, and it's so easy to do that in real life. It got banned. But what they don't get is, it's an 18, and there was kids out there, same as COD, that was buying it at the age of 12.
Mm-hmm.
You can't blame the game for that. You've got to blame the fact that a parent's not gone with them and gone...
Hate the player, not the game.
Yeah. So, I don't think it's fair on anime or games to say that. I think it comes down to not being censored enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be hard for anyone that's age 15 to go and buy a 15, for instance, to go, Mum, can you come to the shop with me? At 15, you want to go out and do stuff. But in the same way, I think it also needs to happen to stop all this hate on games and anime and everything else.
The problem is ignorant parents. They
Yeah.
don't know what the kids are doing. They don't know what their kids are playing. They need to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, it might not be a popular opinion, but they need to be aware of what their kids are doing. Especially with all the online stuff now, if anything, to keep them safe from other people.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And I mean, it's been quite a serious podcast as this one. So let's try and keep it a bit more light-hearted of next week of why you should actually watch anime or even just read the mangas. But until then, I think that's been it for this week. So I would normally just call it quits here and end the podcast, but this time, I think it's time to have some outtakes of me talking to Alexa. Search any pod for the Otaku player. What to find us on Alexa? Just say, Alexa, search any pod.
You said to find us on Alexa, and that woke her up.
Alexa, ask any pod to play the Otaku, the anime playlist, but... Shut up. Alexa, ask any pod to play the anime playlist. Play the Otaku podcast by... I did it wrong, yeah. I did it wrong.
I think you're looking for the WODcast podcast.
No, I think he's looking for the wrong thing.
It's because I've changed it now. I've been saying
Robert
it that many times.
I've linked your information to the AnyPod website. Visit anypod.net and log in with your Amazon
I thought
account.
she was just telling you off. Robert Keane.
You still recording?